mean, it's been 3 months probably that I've done that because I was
Yeah.
at a point of like
I think
exhaustion.
we both were
Just
just like,
we
okay, like
were
you
like,
especially, it's like we
it's
have to
just
take a break
ugh,
here.
it's just like it's not good for anyone. I'm not
And
getting enough
it's
done.
better for your business too because
Yeah.
you're more refreshed
Yeah.
and just, able to think more clearly or whatever.
Not
It's
resenting
always
it because that
right.
was one
You want to
thing I
keep it
started
fun.
doing. Yes. Getting angry with my business. It's like we don't want that. So, yeah, definitely, definitely needed and definitely not something to feel guilty for because I think feeling guilty about not working enough or not getting all
Hmm.
of the things done is just as much of as a guilt as not spending
For
enough
sure.
quality time with the family. Like it goes
Right.
both ways.
Especially when it's your business now and you're like, this is
Yeah.
my business. Like this is I'm supposed to be working all the time to make it
Yeah.
better and this and that.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of She's Got It Together. I'm your host, Jessica.
And I'm Samantha. Each week we peel back the curtain on what it really looks like to have it together.
From the messy moments to the milestones, we're here to share it all.
So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's dive into today's topic. Okay, so we're talking about the balancing act, juggling career, working from home, and motherhood. It's a tough job.
That
So,
it is.
Jess, what strategies do you use to manage your time effectively between working and family? Like, how do you do it?
Well, strategy, I don't know if I have a strategy. I kind of go through, I know it's like it's whatever works in the day. So I have a few strategies, I suppose. But really, one of the things that I've learned is that I can't fight it. I have to stop trying to
Mm-hmm.
fight, getting everything put into these time blocks. Because I know time blocking is such a big thing right now. And while I
Mm-hmm.
think it has a place, I don't necessarily think it is the right choice for everything. So, I mean, for instance, here, obviously my kids are at school, 14 and 10, they're at school during the day. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to be able to like time block all of those hours perfectly without running
Something
into
coming
all.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, it always just, I don't know, it never fails. Something happens. So I kind of make myself like I have a list. I'm being Sam. I'm making lists. And
List
I
girl.
can't, yes, I am definitely not as good as you are, but I like to make a list of like all the things that I need to or want to just get done within that period while they're at school. I mean, I guess you
Hmm.
could look at that as a time block. It's just one large time
Yeah.
block. But I know, like, okay, whether I have errands to run, groceries to go get, I like to do Instacart though, so I don't usually go to the grocery store very much anymore.
Heard that.
Yeah, yeah. And, like, here's the list of the tasks I need to get done for Ultimate Bundles. Like, I need to, answer these emails, reach out to whoever on the team, make sure that
Right.
X, Y, and Z are done. I don't make them a set time. Like I don't put them in okay, I have to get this done between 10:30 and 11. Like I'm not doing that because sometimes I'm on my game and things are, just get hammered out really quick. Other times it's just like, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I need to go back to like my
Right.
mind's just wandering. It's that ADHD going on. So, I mean, really, in my world, that strategy works best because I know I can pick up the kids and then I can come back if I need to and work
Yeah. Come
later in
back
the
to that
night.
list. Hmm.
I mean, I think it might be a little, well, it's probably pretty similar for you with Bo. I mean, he's so
Yeah.
young, you kind of have to be flexible with his needs and
Oh,
what the
so
day
flexible.
goes. You can't say like
I
his
don't,
nap is from 11 to 12
yeah.
and he's going to eat at 12:30. Yeah,
I
it just
mean, I
doesn't.
wish he was that regimented, but no, he's not. Like we wake up at different times in the morning. I mean, I do have somewhat of like a routine that I do with him and then try to get to work. But most of the time, like, I'm lucky if that happens, but I try
Yeah.
not to get, so,
Get
worried
hung up
about the
on it.
time frame.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just like, I know what I have to do today. Like I have my list because I usually have a list too, and I just know what I need to do. And like you just have to be flexible because he's at home with me. I don't have help. I'm doing this like when he's sleeping
He
or when
he
he's
works for us.
playing.
He's our
He works for
mascot, you
us.
know.
I know.
He
Today's
great
the only day
ideas.
he hasn't been here.
That's
um,
true.
this is the only day I've worked without him here. I got a babysitter
Yeah.
for today. I mean, it's a big deal. It's my sister. So
It feels very odd though.
um
Normally he's
it does
smiling and
feel weird.
whatever.
Yeah, normally he'd be on here just like waving and talking. But I mean, you
Here's the
have to be
typing.
flexible. I'm lucky if I can like type out a couple emails and then he's usually like right at me, like wanting me to pick him up or something. But then there are days where he's just playing so well independently that I can get stuff done really quickly. I can work at night if I need to. Like, you just have to be flexible because
Yeah.
no day is going to be the same. You can't expect kids to be like, hey, I'm working. I need you to stop. Like, that's just not going to
Yeah.
happen.
And that's
Not with
like
the
the
13-month-old.
beauty. No, it's the beauty of being, working from home though. Because I mean, if you have a corporate job, I mean, obviously you're
Right.
going to have a babysitter. So I guess it might
Oh,
be
of
a little
course.
bit
Yeah.
easier structure wise, but you don't have that flexibility in the morning if it was a bad night
Right.
to, sleep an extra
Mm-hmm.
hour or, push whatever he needs then or, there's just no
Right.
flexibility, but
And
there
that's
is
what I like
structure.
about working from home. Like, there's pros and cons for sure because like
Yeah.
one, like I don't leave the house. So like you're not getting those social interactions. You're not getting
Yeah.
that time, like kind of if you want to call it
Yeah.
me time. Um, but like I personally love working from home. Like I'm glad I don't have because I used to have to drive a half hour to work every day when I was teaching. And I like would especially in the winter, you just like, oh, it's cold. I don't want to get
You
up. I
had to
don't want to get out
people
of
when you got
bed.
there.
Right. So it's like I love being able to do like what I want to do when I want to do it kind of on my own schedule. And yeah, there are days with Bo that are really hard and I feel like I get no work done. But I probably would not change that. I would not want to
Yeah.
like go back into the corporate office. I mean, I know some people like going in and having that time away and things like that, but I just remember like I this is what I've wanted to do. I wanted to either like be a stay-at-home mom or a work from home mom when I had kids just so I could be there. So this is perfect. But like that
Yeah.
leads me into my next question for you is like how do you handle feelings of guilt or
Yeah.
stress with trying to balance like working from home, having a career and your kids?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of guilt that happens for me right now, especially after buying the business, year and a half
Right.
ago. I get a lot of resentment from the kids right now because the hope
They want
was
your
that I would
time.
work, yeah, I would work less and in
Mhm.
their eyes I work more. I don't think I
Right.
work more. I mean, I probably do. But
Or
it's
they're older now, so they actually are
they're
taking
more,
notice to how much you're
yes.
working. And I think that's the
Yes.
big part is they just notice more that you're
Yeah, I'm
working.
sure they do. And it's, the buck stops with me. So it's
Right.
like I have to be on my game. I have to make sure that things get
Mhm.
done. I can't push something off like I used to be able to.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I mean, the guilt is definitely a big thing, but one of the things that I like about it is that they're getting to see me, build this
Running your
business,
business.
like
Yeah.
yeah, like I'm running it, we're building it, we're taking it different directions, like this whole different dynamic that a lot of kids don't get to see with their
Hmm.
parents because they go to their job, they do a 9 to 5 or they, like they're not the owner, they're not, there's no risk
Right.
involved aside from
Hmm.
losing your job, I guess.
Right.
And honestly, to me, I prefer this because I'm in control and I know when things are going
Hmm.
wrong and I have a little notice. I would rather not be laid off randomly, because
Right. You have
budget cuts
control.
or whatever. Like I just, for me, the anxiety is less running a
Hmm.
business, which I don't know. It sounds kind of crazy probably because, there's so much required of you, but it's like you're in control and I'm a control freak, I guess. I guess I
I
just
think we both
discovered
are.
this.
But like I feel like that it's like a good point that you make. Like a lot of kids don't get to see their parents work. They just know they go to work. I remember like at school there was like go to work with your parents' day
Oh
or whatever
yeah,
it was.
yeah.
And like that was like the only day that you would and half the time you just wanted to
Kind
like
of
miss
see it.
school,
But it was,
Like you
yeah, you
just
weren't there for
but
anything other than missing
right.
school.
So I feel like a lot of times, like that's the only time they would maybe see or hear about what their parents do for work, but they get to see you like run this business and do all these cool things every day. And I think down the road, more so they'll appreciate it more how much like,
Yeah.
experience and stuff that you gave them.
Yeah, they see a lot of stress now. I think that's probably the only downfall that I
Right.
really see is like when things are rough, it's like they can
They see
tell.
that more
And
so, yeah.
yeah, yeah. But like Hayden's been able to work for us. And like
Right.
she's been able to do different things. And that's been kind of neat to teach her some of those
Mm-hmm.
pieces young. But I mean, I think there always will be guilt. Doesn't matter what you do,
Yeah.
whether your kid's with a babysitter and you're gone all day
Mm-hmm.
working, or
Yeah.
you're working crazy hours at home. There's always going to be guilt, but unfortunately, the world only runs off of money. I mean,
Yes.
that's
Well,
really a
and it's like
key.
people are very lucky if they can have, one
Yeah.
working parent, like, and have a stay at home mom and things like that. Like people are very lucky if they can have that. And so I feel like if you are able to be, present in any way, it's
Yeah.
better than not being present. And I think whether you're in like a corporate job or you are working from home, you really, like you said, there's going to be guilt because you're either not home, you're not with your kids enough, or you are home but you're not giving them the attention that you think you should be
Yeah.
giving them because you are home. So you're like,
Right.
I'm home, I should be able to like spend time with you, but I also have to work.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
and then you hear them crying and you're like, let me finish this email, and then you just like
Right.
feel that,
Right.
and you're just, it's just like it's hard.
There's no
And
disconnect at home.
no,
Like
no,
there's
there's
no
not. There's
line.
not.
And that is a struggle.
That
But
is hard
I'm
sometimes. Yeah.
definitely with you. Like I love the work from home. I mean, I did it for 5, 6 years before buying the company, so it's not new to me, but it does take a special person because we both decided, I think Sydney is that's just not her
Yeah.
area. Like
Yeah. She
she
likes
needs
to
to leave the
go.
house. She
Yeah,
needs,
and she,
yeah.
works part-time, likes to get out those couple days, and her mother-in-law watches her son, and it's great. She
Yeah,
gets
and
out, and like if I had something like that, maybe I would feel better about it too. If I had like a family member or somebody that I could just, have watch Bo, I think that would be different for me
yeah,
than having someone that I don't really know watching them. And I
yeah.
definitely didn't want, not like there's anything wrong with sending your kids to daycare, but I like was like,
It's just hard.
I'm home. Why would I send him to daycare when I'm
Yeah,
working from home,
yeah,
But I can see now why people do it
yeah.
because it's hard to get things done, and it does depend
Sanity.
on what type of job you're doing from home.
Hmm.
Luckily, mine's pretty flexible. But I feel like, when multiple kids start coming, like that might be something I have to do,
Yeah,
either get help that, comes to me, and they just watch him here, which is probably what I would do because then I could still
yeah.
spend time with him. But I feel like until like the kids are in school, it's
It
like a
is. And then with
madhouse.
the kids in school, okay, so I thought that was going to be just absolutely great. But the problem with the school is like I have pickup. Like I guess if we could do the
Right,
bus. So I'm like, there it's an hour in the morning for my pickup rounds, and then it's about an hour in the afternoon for the pickup rounds.
right.
So it's like I have a hard stop because I have to
Hmm.
go and
Which is
and
probably good,
it is
like it,
good. I just feel like it's always right when I get in my groove. It's like the late
right.
afternoon. I'm like, okay, I'm on it. Let's go. And
Yeah.
I'm like, shit, I have to stop. I have to go.
Well, and it's like by the time you get home and you get settled and you start working, you almost have to feel like you have to go pick them up again.
Yeah.
It's just
Well,
like, oh yeah, okay.
yeah, it's kind of weird. Or it just, I don't know, it gives me that anxious feeling. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to
You don't
make
want to be
sure
late.
like I don't forget. Like I have all these alarms set because if I
Yeah.
don't, I will get going and oh, I was supposed to be
You
there
get
a half hour
immersed in
ago.
something. Yeah.
Yes, yes. But both is good. Both is very good.
Okay.
All right. So, how do you make sure that you have enough quality time with your family or kids, even with this career we have going here at home?
I think a lot of it is just you have to have a like a boundary. You have to
Mhm.
be like, okay, at this time every night, like, and I know this like is not always going to work. There could be a problem, but you can generally have like a time where you stop working and you're just
Like
like,
dinner
okay, like,
time, like
yeah,
the
like dinner
span.
time. Like usually what happens for me is like Brett gets home at 4:30 and then we just spend like family time together. We have dinner and then you know, give Bo a bath and put him to bed. And then if there's anything like that I really need to finish or work on that I couldn't get done during that day because Bo needed me more or like it was just a tough day or something, I'll just do that work at night if I need to, unless it can just be pushed till tomorrow. So I feel like we are really intentional about that time once Brett gets home. Like I'm not on the computer. I try not to be on my phone and
Yeah.
just be like, this is our time together to like just be together and be present because sometimes that doesn't always happen, but that's intentionally what we do at least. What about you?
Yeah. No, that's pretty much what we do. I mean, after I get home from pickup, it seems to be
Yeah.
like when things are just kind of mellow, we figure
Hmm.
things out, if there's homework or, like how their day was and all of that, kind of like decompress. and
Yep.
with the kids. And then yeah, it's usually after dinner that I might hop back on. I have been trying to work downstairs during that
Mm-hmm.
time instead of being up in my office, so I'm not like completely disconnected
That's a
because
good
I
idea
feel
too.
like I may not have my undivided attention, but I am
But you're
down
still
there.
there. Yeah.
I'm there. I'm not like gone and they're, watching
Right.
whatever show on TV.
It's a
So
compromise,
it is a
instead of you being up.
compromise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it depends on what I have to do, obviously, but
Right.
usually I can kind of answer things downstairs and still be there. But yeah, I mean, I think that's probably the only time of day that I would say is consistently the
Right.
same.
Quality time.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
And
it's just
weekends too. I feel like weekends are a big one.
yeah,
I
I've
like
been doing that.
really, I've been starting to like not do work on
Yep.
the weekends because I know you and me, we are like just
We were too
workaholics
much.
sometimes. And it was just too much, like
I
getting
had to
burnt out. It's
stop.
like you, yeah,
Yep.
we had to stop. So it's like weekends are huge. It's really like
Yeah.
I don't even try to think about work. Like I'm
Yeah,
not looking at emails and stuff. So
no.
it's like that is huge. The weekends are just like that time to just decompress and be with family or whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Um, and
And I
then
think
weeknights
that's
really. It's
yeah, and
healthy.
I
You
mean
got to have
it
that
is
that
healthy.
balance. You got to have like
Yeah.
that break because mentally you just get burnt out and then your family's not getting the best of you. You
Yeah.
really have to set those work and family boundaries, I think.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, even if we do work the weekend, there's always going to be something left that we didn't get to. So, trying to
Oh,
get
for sure.
ahead, which is always me. I'm like, I want to get ahead. I want to figure out, like what I can get done in the span that I'm
Mhm.
not, like it's not accounted for during the work and my or the week and all the lists and all that. This will get me, to a place where I'll have more time. Well,
Right.
that's never the case. There's always something else
Yeah.
that can be done. So just stopping and biting the bullet with that, it was the best thing that I did. I mean, it's been 3 months probably that I've done that because I was
Yeah.
at a point of like
I think
exhaustion.
we both were
Just
just like,
we
okay, like
were
you
like,
especially, it's like we
it's
have to
just
take a break
ugh,
here.
this is like not good for anyone. I'm not
And
getting
it's
enough
it's
done.
better for your business too because you're
Yeah.
more refreshed and
Yeah.
just able to think more clearly or whatever.
Not
It's
resenting
always
it because that
right.
was one
You want
thing
to
I
keep it
started
fun.
doing. Yes. Getting angry with my business. It's like we don't want that. So, yeah, definitely, definitely needed and definitely not something to feel guilty for because I think feeling guilty about not working enough or not getting all
Hmm.
of the things done is just as much of as a guilt as not spending
For
enough
sure.
quality time with the family. Like it goes
Right.
both ways.
Especially when it's your business now and you're like, this is
Yeah.
my business. Like, I'm supposed to be working all the time to make it
Yeah.
better and this and that. But it's like, it
Yeah.
can be just as damaging doing that because, like you said, you start resenting the business and then, your family could be falling apart or like
Right.
it could, and then
Everything.
it's not helping anybody. So, yeah, the
It isn't.
balance is huge and trying to just, it's just something that you have to do. Like you have to provide for your family. You have to do these things. And
That's
as
part of
like
life.
your
Yeah.
yeah, as your kids get older and you're just more intentional with your time together and making that important and balancing that, then it's gonna be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. And I'd say a hard disconnect has got to be on your vacations or anything that you go away.
Yes.
That's one thing
Yes.
that I didn't always do. And I know that that was a mistake now. Like, it's like you just, if you're away from your desk, away from your office, you need to be disconnected. I mean,
Hmm.
we went
Yeah.
to what?
You want to make most of that family time during that vacation. You don't want to be half there, half somewhere else,
Yeah.
and then your family's noticing it and then they're getting mad because you're like, this was supposed to be
Yeah.
vacation. We were supposed to spend time together and you're
Hmm.
working or your mind's over here and then you spend all this time and money on this
I was gonna
vacation and you
say
don't feel
neither is
refreshed.
true. Yeah, you're not refreshed. You're angry. Your family's
you're
angry, and your
yeah.
business is no better off. So what?
So
What was
boundaries,
the point?
boundaries, boundaries.
Yes. Yes. All right. So hopefully this helps you a little bit with some ideas for boundaries when juggling, your family life and your career, whether it's at home or a 9 to 5 out of the house. And I think we can probably all agree that the guilt is just not necessary when it comes to leaving things, undone at the office because families should always come first. And hopefully that is something that you'll be able to take with you and run with and create some type of plan. Don't worry about it being, like a structured, time blocking. Like I said, flexibility seems to be key for us. And I have a
Absolutely.
feeling that it would be the same for you. Thanks for joining us today on She's Got It Together. It's been a real journey sharing and laughing with you all.
We hope you're walking away with a smile on your face and a bit more confidence in your step.
Remember, you're not alone in this crazy ride called life. We're all in this together, one day at a time.
Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and of course, share this podcast with all the incredible women in your life.
Join us next week for more stories, more laughs, and more real talk.
Until then, keep embracing your unique journey and remember, you've got it together more than you think.